Number 7, we want to use the U substitution and identify the inner and outer function. And then we're going to find the derivative using chain rule. So you have a square root, so that's going to be your outer, and then the 9 plus 3x is inside of that. So the gx in this case will be the 9 plus 3x. Looks like B so far. And then if you replace that with the u and say the outside function of u, y would be f of u. So that'll be u under a square root. So D gives us that. And then from there, we're going to compute the derivative. Okay, so the first thing I want to do is rewrite this square root as a exponent. So we can use the power rule. So this is raised to the 1/2 power. So using the power rule, we're going to multiply the 1/2 out front. So y prime is 1/2, leave the inside as is, then subtract 1, so that'll be a negative 1/2, and then you do the derivative of the inside. So times the derivative of 9, derivative of a constant is 0. The derivative of 3x will just give you 3. If you want, you can leave it just like this. The system will take it. However, if you want to simplify, usually always multiply the constant up front. So this will give me 3 over 2. And then you can either leave that as is or write it as a square root. I'll just leave it as is for now. Okay, if you wanted to, you could write it 3 over 2, and this will be the square root of 9 plus 3x. The negative 1/2 will move it down. 1/2 will be put in under the square root. I'm going to leave it in this first form for this one, just to show the difference. 3 divided by 2, and then we have 9 plus 3x raised to the negative 1/2. Number 8, we want to find the value of h prime of 1 and p of 3. So first, h of x is equal to f of g of x, and then p of x is equal to g of f of x. Okay, so doing the derivative, okay, so we're going to find h prime of 1, not negative 1, just want to double check. Okay, so derivative of the outside, so it'll be f prime, leave the inside as is, times the derivative of the inside, so that'll be times the g prime, and I should be plugging in 1s at this point, so plugging in 1, 1. We'll use the map and figure this out. Then on the p prime, we are plugging in 3, and that will be the derivative of the outside, which will be a g prime, leave the inside as is, so we'll say g prime f of 3, and then times the derivative of the inside, so f prime of 3. All right, so all we're going to do is match this up. So g prime of, g of 1 from the table, you go to when x is 1, we're going to come down to where it intersects the g equation. G of 1 is going to give us 1. So right now we're looking at f prime of 1, and then if we figure out 1 and we go to f prime, that's giving us a negative 9. So this value is a negative 9, and we're going to multiply that by g prime of 1. So still in the 1 column, going down to the G prime. It's going to give us 3 over 8. 9 times 3, 27. It's going to be a negative 27 over 8 for the first value. And then on the second function, this is really hard to read, but this is a 3, f of 3. So we're going to go to 3, go to the f equation. That gives us a 1. So we're looking for G prime of 1. And G prime of 1 is 3 over 8. G prime of 1. So this is what we're getting for the first value, and then f prime of 3. So we go to 3, f prime, we get a negative 7. A negative 7 and 3 gives a negative 21 over 8, and so that's what we get for our second function.